Right, so the Linux Mint 20 betas are now all available to have a little test and play around with. So what we're going to do today is take a look at the Cinnamon version, but we'll also hopefully get a look at the XFCE and MATE ones in the next coming days. So what we're going to do is install this straight to a disk. We're in the live USB right now. Have I already opened the installer? I have indeed. Right, so let's get moving. So can we actually open the release notes? No. Right, let's not worry about that then. Let's just go straight through and we'll open up their blog or something to look at the new features as we have a little run around. So English UK, install multimedia codecs. Okay, scanning the disks. I can hear the mechanical one starting to spin up. It's taking a little while. There we go. Right, so we're going to not install it alongside the Arch Linux. We're going to go to something else. Actually, let's erase a disk and see what it does there. So you can also use LVM with the new Linux Mint installation. We're going to do a something else. Go to continue, and we're just going to choose a spare disk and make an installation on one of those. So what one is the Arch one on? The Arch one is there, so we're not going to touch that. I'll do a video on the Arch stuff at some point as well. I'll have to take it off the distro spinner though. I've been using it for the past couple of days. Right, let's go for SDB up there, which is on the SanDisk. SDB. So, what's on there at the moment? Nitrux. Right, we're going to take Nitrux off at the moment. Sorry, guys. So off you go. Off you go. Where's it gone? Right, so it's all one free space now. So we're going to make a 300 megabyte partition for EFI. Wherever that may be. There we go. And then we're going to chuck the rest on root. I'm not going to bother making a swap partition. We'll see what it does in terms of swap files and things like that. So we're going to go for ext4 and just go for one root. Click OK. And that should be good. So that's going to make the bootloader on dev-sdb, which is where we're installing that as well. So if we go to install now, it's just going to tell you what changes you're going to make to the partitions. So that's one ESP and then one ext4. London is correct. Well, kind of. It's close enough. User accounts. And we're going to log in automatically so we get straight to the desktop. Right, so we're going to take a little check at the time. So it's just about 10 to, it's 12:49. So we're going to see how long it takes once we come back and the installation has finished. Okay, installation has now finished and it's 12:54, so it took roughly about 5 minutes for this install to finish on this Mint 20 beta. So now what we're going to do is restart and boot straight into our newly installed desktop. Okay, so we've just booted into our freshly installed Linux Mint Cinnamon beta version 20 install, and we've got a few things that we're going to do. So we're in the welcome screen at the moment, and I also have their blog just opened up here because they've got a lot of the changes here that I want to have a look at. So a lot of the stuff that we will have a look at is things like the colour that's in this welcome screen, which I'm quite interested to see how they've done that. And we're going to have a look at the whole sort of snap chromium thing and see how that actually works in practice. So I think we've got a little update sign here, so let's just have a look if there's anything to get. Doesn't appear to be. Oh, there might be. Let me just have a little look at that. Do you want to use a local mirror? Blah, blah, blah. We'll worry about that in a moment. So we're going to install these updates, and that's going to be the Linux headers generic, modules and modules extra plus the Linux image. So we're going to click OK and type in our password, and then that's going to run Synaptic. Okay, right, while it's doing that, let's take a look at this welcome screen here. So let me just minimize this out of the way for the moment. Right, so as we saw in this little blog post here, the colors can all be changed now straight from in the welcome screen application. So if we was to go into the first steps here, you can see we've got this little section called desktop colors, which will allow you to choose a color gradient for things like your icons and stuff like that. And we also have a dark and light theme switcher. I do believe that's what that is. So we're going to test out these colors. We're going to go for this blue at first. Nice. And as you can see now, the colors of those icons, especially the Nemo folder files, has changed to a nice sort of shade of blue there. And also your accent colors for things like where your address bar is blue, as well as the selected sort of category that you're on, and then your button up here is also blue, which is quite nice. Let's have a look at a different colour. We won't look at all of them, but we'll have a little look around. It's quite a nice grey actually. I think that's quite a nice looking one. And again, your files and your icons will all be a different colour that use the accent colours in the Mint colour switcher. Right, let's try two more colours. Let's have a look at this red. There you go. It's not my cup of tea that, but if that is your cup of tea, there you go. And again, your icon there is all changed colour as well. So let's change it to one more colour now. Let's go for this one here. There you go. Is that a teal? Is that like a teal colour? Turquoise? I don't know. It's a nice little sort of greeny blue though. We might leave it on that for the most part and just, yeah, we're going to leave that like that. So now we're going to have a look at this little toggle button here, which should change from dark to light theming, if that is what I'm thinking it does. Brilliant. So it changes it straight away, no need to close and reopen an application. And if we just done it again, very quick changing of your dark and light themes. So let's open up a different application like a terminal and see how that looks as well as you change it. Nice. So we're going to leave it on the dark theme as we have a further look around. Actually, I'm going to leave it on the light theme because it makes the lighting a bit easier on my camera there. Okay, right, let's close that. Right, so we've almost finished the update there. So what we're going to do now is just jump into a different desktop. We'll have a look at a different desktop in a moment actually. We're going to keep on this same desktop because I want to see what else is on here. So, the NVIDIA On Demand profile is now fully supported in both MATE and the Cinnamon menu applet. When you run that in mode, is the Intel card, blah, blah, we haven't got any Intel and NVIDIA stuff on this computer. Multi-monitor support, yep, so they've sort of introduced better sort of fractional scaling and things like your multi-monitor stuff. I don't know if it's straight in the monitor settings or not though, we'll have a look. So here in the display, is there anything interesting on here? There we go, base interface, so we can do double HDPI. I haven't got a high resolution monitor, so we can't really take a look at the fractional scaling too much. But let's close that. So that's now updated. It's telling us we need to do a reboot. So I'll tell you what, we're going to do the reboot and we're going to start it from fresh. Let's do a reboot now. Does it have a little button that we click there, or should we just go straight into the terminal and do it? Right, so off we go. We can also see how quickly it starts up now as well. We've got auto login, so we should be going straight to the desktop. The screen will refresh in just a moment. There we go. Okay, so let's select Linux Mint. And there we go. So we've got the Mint logo, so we should be just coming into the desktop now. Yep, fairly quick, not too much to worry about that. So as I sort of noticed as well, we don't have much luck with the release notes yet. I don't think they've actually been fully released on this website at the moment. Ah, there we go, here's the release notes. So let's have a little look at the release notes while we're going as well. So touchpad drivers, as I say as well, this is now built on top of Ubuntu 20.04 obviously. So touchpad drivers in the addition lib input provided by Blur. If you experience issues, VirtualBox. So in the screen is the black when launching Linux Mint VirtualBox. Garbled screen, if the screen is garbled when launching, no, blah 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 blah. Okay, won't worry about that. Home directory encryption. So benchmarks have demonstrated that in most cases home directory encryption is slower than full disk encryption. The move to systemd caused a regression in encrypts, which is responsible for mounting and unmounted encrypted directories. Okay. Wine, so you can now install Wine, the complete version, in the terminal with apt install Wine installer. Let's have a look at that. So that's now going to grab that Wine package for us. Sound and microphone. Okay, choosing the right version of Linux Mint. So I don't think this is too much of detailed release notes really, is it? So what else have we got? What's new in Linux Mint? Let's have a look at this one. There we go. So this is what I really wanted to look at, but unfortunately they haven't updated that URL yet. So we're going to jump straight back into the Linux Mint blog and just have a little look at else what we can have a look at here. Right, so in the system tray, keyboard applet, you'll be able to use middle click buttons to cycle through layouts. Right, so as you can see, a right click is exposing just the options there, but if I click in the middle button there, it will now mute it. So that's quite interesting. Nothing happens on the mouse when you do that, or the network, or the updater. And that's not really doing much else either. So it's received the ability to handle mouse wheel scrolling. There we go, so we're now I don't know if that was there before, but if it wasn't, you can now scroll through on the icon, volume icon as well, and change the volume of your computer. Let's scroll all the way down to the next little bit here. All those donations. There we go. So Linux Mint free editions. Is there anything else? Warpinator. So send and receive files across the network. I've heard quite a bit about this actually, but it's now included in your base install. I've never actually used it. What I'll do is when we have a look at the other versions, we'll keep this desktop running and I'll run it on a different computer, and then we can see how that works in the next video, probably in the XFCE one or perhaps the MATE one. But that lets you send files and receive files across your sort of local network, which is pretty cool to have that built in into your install there. So here's the accent colours that we were just having a look at in the Mint Y theme. So if we go into look and feel, so here's all the different colours there, and like I say, we could have just jumped straight to it in a welcome screen. And in your desktop now, let's change one of these in here and see how that works as well. So let's go to dark mint teal, which is what we're already on, and let's get some different themes. How does that all work? Let's go to yes. Okay, so there's a load of themes here that we can install straight from the theme setting here in Mint. Let's grab something a bit different. Let's grab Jade. So now if we go into themes, that should now be there, and we should be able to select Jade as long as it has installed. Mint Y Teals, Jade, here we go, Jade 1, let's have a look at that. Okay, so it gives us like a little outline of the icons there. I'm not too sure I like that much. Let's go into the icons. Do we have any Mint Jade icons, or is that just the theme? It appears to be just the theme, the Windows theme. Okay, I'm not a massive fan of this theme actually. There's too many sort of outlines and stuff. Right, we're going to go back into the default Mint Y, and we was on the Mint Y Teal. It was teal as well, the colour that we was trying to guess. There we go. Right, let's close that one off. So here's Mint Blue as an example. Yeah, we had a look at blue. Did we have a look at blue? Let's have a look at blue. Let's go back into the welcome screen. First steps, and let's go for blue. This blue there. That's quite a nice blue as well. Right, so let's follow through their steps, and then after that we are going to sort of just run apt install Chromium and see how that actually looks when you do that. So let's run a system snapshot for the very first time using time shift. And we'll use rsync and click next, and then that's going to estimate the size of the snapshot needed to be made. Taking a little while. There we go. So let's just go for whatever the defaults are. So we're on the sound disk there, so we're going to leave that as so, and let's go for say a weekly snapshot level, and let's click next. Yeah, we're going to exclude all files, home directory. Let's go to include all files, why not, eh? They're excluded by default. Actually no, let's exclude them, we won't use them. And let's click finish. And now let's create one for the very first time, and that's going to be using rsync, and that's going to take about 2 to 3 to 4-ish minutes. So we'll leave that doing that. And then the next steps, we have the driver manager. We shouldn't really need to do anything in here. We don't tend to need any sort of proprietary drivers or anything like that on this computer. What else is in here? Software. Okay. As I said, yeah, we don't need any additional drivers. That's the way I sort of tend to try and keep my computer on Linux, to be honest with you. So that's that one. And then update manager. Let's see how that's going. We'll open update. Ooh, that's gone up to 6 minutes, I think. Yeah, we won't open update manager just yet. So software manager. So the GNOME software store. There we go. It's quite a sleek little store, actually, to be fair. I know a lot of people really like the Cinnamon software store, software manager. Right, let's close that. And then also you can configure your firewall like so. So it's quite a simple interface. You can add your rules, and you have sort of deny or allow, and you can get a report and a log there. So there's a few little profiles as well. You've got home, office and public, so you can switch that between, say if you was on a laptop for example and you was moving about, taking your computer from home to office, you could then switch your firewall however you might want to set it up. So let's close that, and now what we're going to do is jump into a different desktop, open up a terminal, and we're going to type in sudo apt install chromium, and I want to see if there's any sort of dialogue that comes up or anything when you do that. So let's go to view and zoom in a bit. So what is the zoom in? Control ++. Okay, right, the moment of truth. There we go. So no snap is going to get installed in a sneaky little way. It will tell you, however, that the game Chromium BSU is available, and snap is not installed out of the box. So if you wanted to go snap install Chromium, it shouldn't be installed, and of course it isn't. Does Mint come with Flatpak out of the box? No, so you're going to be basically, oh no, I think it might do there. Yeah, it did. So it does come with Flatpak out of the Flatpak out of the box, which is my favourite out of the two, Snap and Flatpak anyway. But to be honest, I'd rather just use Snap Image if I'm going to use a universal package like that. So let's get back into the next page there and see how our snapshot's coming along. Right, so it's still got about 1:26 to go. Let's open up Firefox now and see what else is new that we might have not had a look at. So the code name was obviously Ulana, I think that's how you say it. Nemo Performance. So the team at the performance of the file manager and changes are being made on the way. Nemo is handling thumbnails. Although the generation of new thumbnails was done asynchronously, loading existing ones could sometimes have an impact on browsing content and navigating directories. We've had a look at that. We've checked out the new colours. Okay. I think for the most part, apart from the fractional scaling, we've had a look at it. As you can see there, Linux Mint will forbid Snapd from getting installed. So let's just see what happens. It should let you manually install it. Aha, no it doesn't. So you can't install Snapd like that through the terminal either. In Chromium, it won't be an empty package which installs Snap behind your back. So there was a little back and forth there. I do believe the Ubuntu sort of released a sort of response to that. I'll link it in the description if I can find it, so you can have a little read if you fancy. So I think our snapshot's done. So there we go. There is our very first snapshot from a freshly installed system. And as you can see, we can also delete it, browse for files, or mark for deletion, view log for create. And now it's going to read all of that stuff and it's passing the log file. So let's leave that minimized and let's just have one final look on this blog here to see if there's anything else we might want to have a look at. So we had a little checkout on the system tray there. So Warpinator will also sort of run in the background as well and be on your desktop. A middle click using my scrolling button will show it. It does the same thing as the right left click. Interesting. Okay, so let's get out of that. Let's close these tabs. Let's close this one. And let's just quickly do a update. And as you can see, we are using the Focal Fossa repos from Ubuntu now, as this is built on top of Ubuntu 20.04. So that's going to be my little quick look around Linux Mint 20 beta, the cinnamon version. As I said, we will have a quick look through all of them. Let's just quickly open the system settings to see if there's anything new and interesting on here. Window tiling, eh? Oh, that's just sort of snapping and stuff like that. So let's get out of that. Is there anything I want to have a look at on here? So what is in our startup? So startup wise, we have the cinnamon settings daemon, XR and R. Flatpak, so Flatpak's all ready to go straight away. Update manager, Warpinator will start by default as well. So as soon as you start up your computer, Warpinator will be running in the background. Like I said, we will check out Warpinator on the next Linux Mint video that I do, which I'm probably going to do the MATE one first, and we'll save the XFCE one for last. And I'm hopefully going to do both of them tomorrow. We'll see how we go. And I might even see if I can just squeeze one in tonight. Brilliant. Anyway, so pretty good for a beta, to be honest with you, and there's not too much to really write home about. Let's just jump into a different desktop and see if there's any new wallpapers as well. Let's change desktop background. It's not too bad with the green. Let's see what that looks like with the green accent colour as well. Let's go straight back into the welcome screen and go to first steps, and we're going to change that to green. So if we open up the files manager next to it, Nemo, let's minimise this. Do we have a show desktop button? We do indeed. There we go. I think that matches quite well and it's quite nice actually. Right, that's been our quick look at Linux Mint Cinnamon Beta 20. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.